Hey there, folks. So, in this video, I'm going to tell you how to get funded in 7 days. It's this big question that is it even possible to get funded in 7 days? And I'm going to tell you the requirements for that and what is the chances, what are the probabilities that you can get it. And it's going to be 70-80% probabilities that you will be able to get it either on the first one or on the second, third at least, but you need some things for that, which I'm going to tell in this video. So each part of this video is really valuable, so watch every single part of this video. Only then you will be able to understand what I'm trying to say. So first of all, we're gonna go on Google and we're gonna search for any profile. Let's go for Fiverr, and we're gonna see the programs they provide us. So let's see here. Here's the hypergrowth one-step program, high stake two-step program, and a bootcamp three-step low-cost program. Okay, so we got three options. So the first option, I'm not gonna go for that. It's pretty simple because let's see here. If we take a look here, they say evaluation target is 10%, stop out level is just 6%, and the daily pause is 3%. So here we are getting 6% stop out level, which is pretty low for the price. And prices are also lots. A lot of the people lose these accounts easily. Passing a hypergrowth account is just literally a more harder thing to do. So we'll go for the high stakes two-step program. And for the three-step program, I don't suggest you because it's like three-step is gonna take way long. Two steps are pretty fine. You can do that. So minimum profit days is 3 days, and three for scaling. Okay, for the high stake traders, once you get funded, you can do whatever you want. Okay, so maximum daily loss 5%. Maximum loss 10%. Profit target is just 8%. Now you have to make only 8% rather than the 10% in the total account, which is like let's take an example of $100,000. We're gonna make $8,000 rather than $10,000 in it, and we are ready to have a total risk of $10,000, and we are fine losing $5,000 in a single day. So let's say if you make $7,000, $6,000, you will be able to pass the account very quickly then, because you will have a lot of confidence that I have a big room to run the scheme. So that is all. It's pretty simple now. We get the point. Same goes for this part, step 2. We have a 5% maximum daily loss. Maximum loss is 10%, and here we go. We have a much better option now. That is 5% profit target, which is more than half. $5,000 profit and $10,000 risk. Okay, that is like 0.5% risk to reward ratio. So let's just calculate these things in a better way now. I'll close this shit. Now let's come to this place. How to get funded in 7 days. Okay, it's going to be more like a procedure. First of all, I want to say that I'm not gonna lie. The reality is that you need a system, my friend, and you need such system is that it shouldn't be like the system where you are not sure that when it's going to make you money, on which days it makes you money, on which day it doesn't make you money, and you should be extremely familiar with your system. Okay, and by system, what does I even mean? Do I mean any strategy? Do I mean any technical system? Yes, I do mean that, but including that, I also mean that you need a psychology aligned with your system, your strategy. When you are trading, if your system says that you're gonna run the 50 points, the 100 points trades, okay, so you should have that much psychology to take those 100 points. You shouldn't be like that. You should exit at 25 points, 20 points, which will ruin your risk to reward ratio also, isn't it? But in reality, fuck this all these things. The bigger point of this game is to be confident in your system. Confidence is another bigger point. Okay, confidence is another bigger point. And how do you get the confidence? For the confidence, what you'll do, you need to live back tests the markets. Okay. And you need to also journal a lot. Then at least 1 year is a lot, but at least I would say 6 months of experience in the system. Like you should have traded that system for 6 months. Only then it is possible that we can say, do you have any chances of doing this? And now, you, my friend, you're gonna say that if we do have the system, then what we have came to do here, what we have came to do here, and what we will get from you. So, well, it's just not about having a system. You require much more than that. Okay. If I just talk about that, what are the things that you actually require? Is seems pretty simple, but they are much more important. And even if you have a good system, you're still gonna lose money. So for the system, I have a very small requirement that your system should be 50% win rate, and your system also should have at least 1:2 risk to reward. And it could be like 1:9 also, it works, but like 1:2 is just the number, the default number we can count. Okay. And for the other thing we're going to talk is now the things which we require for to trade. So first of all, let's say we need to make 8% in the first one. Okay, 8% in the first one, plus we're gonna say that's 5% in the second one, and that comes to the conclusion that we need to make 13% as sum total. Whereas the risk, if we put that total target, okay, target, so this is going to be our target. So here's the loss limit. So loss limit equals to, first of all, we have 10 and 10. Okay, that's very simple, isn't it? 10 plus 10. That comes to 20%. And as we are talking about a 100K account, we're gonna simply put here for 100K account is going to be like this, that we have a total target of 13K and we have a risk of 20K, which is much better than other accounts, isn't it? So let's say we need to make $13,000 with a risk available of $20,000, and there's another thing, you are allowed to risk only 5K in a day, not more than that. So your risk to reward ratio shouldn't be like this, that you are taking so much big loss size. So basically comes to the risk management part. Okay, so we are not allowed to take very big accounts in that case. Let's come to another thing, which is risk management. How will risk management go on? So it's not going to be like, I'm gonna just say it's, you just need to press 0.5% to keep your account safe. So it's not like that. When you're trying to pass an account, you should be more aggressive, and when you got funded, you should be more careful with that, because when you are funded, you can make money with that. And usually people, once they get funded, they lose it very quickly in 15 to 20 days. So you gotta hold that down. Whereas for this one, the challenge account, you gotta win or lose this quickly. So it's a do or die situation. So you have to do it quickly. For the risk management, it's pretty simple. First of all, we need to risk 1 to 2% per trade, and how we're going to deal with this situation. So let's say your system should provide two three different scenarios. I know it happens with most of the system. There is one system situation when we know that this situation the market's going to pump or dump, but it's not going to be that much big momentum. Okay, so you'll take 1% risk in that one. Whereas when you know that this time the market is going to go strong, you are pretty sure, pretty confident about this particular system happening. Your scenario is properly happening, your strategy is properly at that situation where you get the entry. So go for that with a 2% risk. Okay, and I know it could ruin your risk to reward ratio also if you lose the 2% ones more and the 1% one is the wins. But buddy, if you are confident in your system, if you know, if you have used it for 6 months, you have should have that much experience that you can understand this thing. Okay, so 1 to 2%, pretty simple. And let's say if you go below the 100k range, if you go below the break even range, okay, what you gonna do in that situation? If you go below the break even range, then it's pretty simple. You're gonna decrease from 1 to 2%. You're gonna take it 0.5% to basically 1%. And the situations are pretty same. For the like A, B, C setups, you're gonna go for 0.5% now rather than 1%, and for the S setup, you can go for 1% rather than the 2%. So in that case, what will happen? Will less likely go in less pressure to the downward side, and when you are in the upside, there's more likely chance that you bump more with the help of this one. Okay, and it's pretty simple now. And let's say we are making very good trades. We are about $5,000 in the phase one, and we're gonna make another $5,000. So in such situation, it's totally fine. You can even risk 3% in such situation, buddy. You can risk 3%, but don't be dumb. Basically, if you gotta make 2.5, if you gotta make 5%, basically $5,000, and your phase one is clear, you just need to risk 2.5%, that is $2,500, and with the help of that you would be able to make that 5%, which is basically $5,000. So it's pretty simple. It's not that much of a rocket science. You just gotta understand things clearly. So that's all for the risk management. It's that's how you're gonna pass the accounts. It's all. Use this system, you would be able to win this game, and it flies on the phase one, phase two, but not on the funded one. Now, how you'll get funded in 7 days? It's pretty simple. You have 7 days, and I'll not count the weekends at least, because I'll count the market days only. So it's going to be Monday to Friday, another Monday and Tuesday of the next week. Okay. So we got 7 days now. So 7 days means, so first of all, your system should give at least 2 3 trades a day. 2 3 trades a day. Okay. And when you need to get funded, you need to understand this thing, that if you are in profit in one day, it's fine, you can take another risk. But if you're in loss, don't take another risk. Okay. So in the day, if you, let me just increase the size first of all. Yeah, here we go. So if you hit a TP, that could be 1%, that could be 2%. Okay, let's say it is 1%. Okay, you're gonna take another trade, and in another trade, whatever you make, let's say you made a 1% in the first trade or 2% in the first trade. So if you made like I'm sorry, uh, when you hit a TB, probably you're gonna make 2% or the 4%. I'm sorry for that. So let's say you make 2 to 4%, and once you make that 2 to 4%, we are not sure that either you're gonna make 2% or 4%, because it depends on your system and it's gonna happen. likeliness in a week, it should happen 1 to 2 times, because good system, that is a good sign of a good strategy. Only that is why we call it a good strategy. Otherwise, it's not a good strategy for sure. If you hit a tip of 2 to 4%, and let's say you hit a 2%, and you get your system again in the evening or in the noon time, basically what you're gonna do, you're gonna risk that 2% again. You're gonna risk that 2% again. And if you do risk that 2% again, what is the likeliness chances that what could happen? It's pretty simple, dude. You can use that 2% to make another 4%. And if you succeed in this, you would be able to make good money. And making 4%, that is almost clearing 40% of your account, and 2% plus, that is 60%, because you already made 2% and you make another 4. That is that is pretty well. So let's say if you don't make any, you lose this 2%. Damn, that's like a no profit, no loss day. That is a break even day. Okay, but in a situation, let's say in the beginning part you don't make any money. If you hit a asshole, if you hit the asshole, and you probably lose like 1 to 2% in this win. That's simple. And what you gonna do? No more trades. Simple. It's not that much of a deal. Okay. So as if we take some calculations here, let's say uh we have a 50% win rate. So out of 7 days, we're gonna count, let's say 3 days. Let's say 3 days. In the 3 days, we just lost our money. That is basically 1%, 1%, and 2%. We can count that much. So total of that is 1, 1, and 2. That would be basically 4%. So that would be total loss equals to we made is somewhere 4%. Okay. And now comes the win days. Okay. Now comes the win days. Well, we'll basically put total gain, and that is how we're going to calculate that. That would be 4 days left, and out of 4 days, we either made 2%, we either made 4%, and from the 4%, we can also make the 8% also. Okay, so it's pretty simple. In the second game, we can make a lot of money. So we have already counted the loss days. Okay, that's a lot of loss already. But let's say with the first one trade, the first day you made 2%. Okay, the second day you also made 2%. Okay, the third day you just made a 2%, then risked that 2% for the 4%, and you end up losing that 2%. So you made nothing. I'm even counting that also. So that is also less risk to reward ratio. Oh, sorry, there is less gain in that. There is less win rate with that. And on the fourth day, you was able to make 2%, and with that 2%, plus you was able to make 4% also, and that is amazing. And the thing is, 2 plus 2 plus 6 equals to 10%. And hey, you go, dude. You just passed your phase 1. You just passed your phase 1 in just a week. And you can apply that same thing on the phase 2, and you would be able to pass that also. And once you pass both of your accounts, I want to give you some secret sauce for the funded account also. So once you get funded, I just gonna say those words. Okay, so once you get funded, what you're gonna do is you're gonna basically wait for the right days only. The days when you feel like that you are supposed to risk 2%. And when you get those days, you can risk only 1% on these days. Okay. Normally you're not gonna risk 0.5%, you're not gonna risk 2%, only 1%, and you're gonna make the 2%. That's all. Basically risking $1,000 to make $2,000 only the days when you feel like the right system. So let's say in a month there is total of 22 trading days, and out of 22 trading days your system happens on 18 trading days, and out of those 18 trading days your best system is on 10 days. So let's say out of 10, this can increase your win rate also, dude. So 10%, 10 days, that would be like, let's say you win on 6 days and lose on 4 days. So 4 days would be 4% loss, 6 days would be 12% profit. So you ended up making 8% in the total. So out of 8%, let's say how much would be that on 100K? That would be $8,000. So in your single account, that is a lot of money. Would be able to make 10K almost with a 100K account. Okay, so keep this game going on, and then slowly and slowly you can capitalize on that thing. You would be able to make a lot of money with that thing. So that's we're gonna do these games, and hope this video helped you out. If you loved it, just subscribe to my channel. I'm gonna bring more secret sauces to you just like these ones. If you love this type of system, just comment me down, just like this video. That will help the algorithm to understand that it is worth it for watching up for other traders. That's all for today. Peace. See ya.